Hello and welcome to Dad Got This, where I answer the tough questions like, can I make up my own barbecue rub and make a fantastic barbecue pork belly on my Kamado Joe? And how do pigs get to hospitals? The second one's easy. Ambulances. This episode is brought to you by the good folks over at Kamado Joe, and we are going to cook up something that I absolutely love, but I'm going to do it different than I normally do. I always do crispy skin pork belly. This time we're doing more of a traditional barbecue pork belly, which has no skin. And to do that, we need a barbecue rub. And I figured, why buy one when I can make one? So let's make a barbecue rub. To make a barbecue rub, I suggest having some extra containers laying around. Every time I empty a spice container, I kind of keep at least one hanging around in case I want to do something silly like this. So get yourself a container. The next thing we need to figure out is, what do we want it to taste like? What's our spice profile? For my family, sweet. Most everyone in the family loves sweet barbecue. I like to add a little heat to mine, but I always do that at the end because no one else in the family likes heat. So we're gonna make a very sweet barbecue rub. We're gonna try to add some things that will hopefully enhance our bark. One of the things I've never really mastered with barbecue yet is getting a fantastic bark. So I'm gonna try to add a couple of things to help enhance the bark on my rub. The first thing I'm gonna start with is some brown sugar. This is gonna be for the sweetness. We'll go with most of a quarter cup. You know what, let's go half a cup. I want a lot of this around because I'm gonna need this for some other things. Half a cup of brown sugar. Garlic. We love garlic. Should probably get a funnel. Funnel might make this a little bit simpler. Funnel. We're gonna go with a half a cup of granulated garlic. Granulated garlic is different than garlic powder. It has a thicker granule than garlic powder. Powder is powdery. This is more like grains of sand. And just like we do in Dad Dust, we're gonna add an equal amount of granulated onion. 1/2 cup. For the bark, 16 mesh ground black pepper. We're gonna go do with a quarter of a cup of black pepper. Yeah, because I want to keep this kind of basics in case you can add more black pepper if we need it for extra bark on something that's going to get a really long cook like a brisket. But on shorter cooks, I don't want to have too much black pepper in there to overpower it. You got to have salt. We're going to add an equal amount of salt, a quarter cup. I can always add additional salt if I need to later, but I think that's a good starting point. A little bit of good old-fashioned MSG. We're going to go with a tablespoon. Now's where the fun part happens. Let's start adding some flavors and some stuff for color. Flavor and color. Smoked paprika. I want lots of color in my rub. Add about a quarter cup of smoked paprika. I do want a hint of heat in here, so I'm going to add a teaspoon, just a teaspoon to this entire thing of cayenne pepper. I heard ground mustard helps bark, so I'm going to add some ground mustard in the form of 1 tablespoon. One thing that's supposed to kind of help with smoke rings is some celery salt. It has built-in nitrates in it, which should help build you a little bit extra bark. No, smoke ring. Tablespoon. Because I have it and I like the flavor, a little bit of cinnamon, but I'm only gonna do a teaspoon of cinnamon. And now for something that I have used in rubs before that I really liked, some coffee. This is some Italian espresso that I ground up just now. And we're gonna put a quarter cup of it in. I think it's gonna help with the bark and give it like a really nice flavor. Dad Rub 1.0. Let's give it a little taste. Pretty good. Think it can take a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. So we will add another quarter cup of pepper, another quarter cup of salt, which will bring our salt and pepper totals to a half a cup. And we're gonna add in another quarter cup of the coffee. Okay, pretty salty. We need some more sweet. Another quarter cup of brown sugar. Dad Rub 1.2 already. All right, let's take a little pinch. Much better. Nice little salty punch. I think we're good. What are we gonna put this on? What I have here is a 5 3/4 pound pork belly. No skin. Pat it dry. Get some of the moisture of the cryo pack out of there. I normally do not use a binder, but I am going to use a binder for this one. In most of the recipes I found people use binders. I'm gonna use some honey mustard. And we're just gonna slather this guy on there. Doesn't need to be super thick. Next up, Dad Rub. And I think we'll be able to go pretty heavy with this and not be a problem with the amount of stuff I have in here. We'll put a little on that side, flip it. We are gonna cook this fat side up, so I probably should have done that side second. And then we'll hit this back side. And then we'll top off the front. That's gonna be our presentation side. See, I'm pressing the rub in and try to get some of these sides. Pop that side back down. You see I'm kind of going from up high to get a nice even distribution. Press it in a little. Now I'm gonna go stick this in the fridge while I set up the Kamado Joe. If it's not too hot outside or in your house, you could leave it out at room temp. That would be totally fine. Time to empty out the Kamado. I store pretty much all my stuff in the Kamado because I have nowhere else to put it. If you guys have a good place for stuff, let me know. So just clear out some of the old charcoal that was in there from the last cook. A couple big chunks of pecan wood going down. Putting them underneath the charcoal like this seems to make my smoke last longer and gives me a good long smoke. Now we'll top with the fresh charcoal, kind of move that around, and then I put a couple of extra chunks on top. This really makes sure that I get lots and lots of smoke at the beginning and throughout the cook. Light them up using my torch. Only takes about a minute. Once they're white and hot like that, we're gonna go ahead and set this up for the slow roller. For that, you put down the big section, then you put your little rack on top of that, the middle section, the lid, and then I like to use the X-ring with a set of deflector plates and a sheet pan covered in foil as a drip tray. I've got the top vent all the way open, along with the bottom vent. And now we're just gonna let that rock there for about 15 minutes, see where it comes to, and adjust our vents. It's not very cold here, it's very hot, so I'm not worried about knocking the heat out of the ceramic as much, so I'm just skipping straight to the heated up step. The goal for today's cook is 275 degrees Fahrenheit. If it bumps up a little bit above that, fine. If it goes a little bit below that, also fine. But we wanna stay around that range. See you when it heats up. It has been a little bit, and as you can see, we are smoking away. And we have hit 250 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think is close enough to go ahead and throw this pork in. Right now, the top and the bottom are fully open, but we're gonna go ahead and close those down a little bit as things move on and more of that charcoal lights. I am going to throw in a probe, probably right about there. I will check back in an hour or so. We've been rocking for about an hour and this thing has climbed up to almost 300 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and close my vents down a little bit. I'm down at a finger on the bottom. I'm gonna go to 1 on the top. There's a little saying called, if you're looking, you're not cooking, but I'm going to look for your sake. I'm very happy with the color on that. I'm gonna spritz it with a little bit of a 50-50 apple juice and water. I ran out of apple cider vinegar. We're currently at about 117 on the meat. We're gonna take this all the way up to about 200-ish, but we're going for probe tender. That could happen anywhere between 190 and 200 plus. So we'll see you in at least another hour. It's been about 2 hours and 15 minutes and we've been staying under 300 the whole time, kind of creeping up there a little bit, but it's okay, it's pork, it can handle that. Lots of fat in there. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Looks pretty good to me. A little bit of pooling. Overall though, I am pretty good with that. We are gonna go ahead and just put a little chunk of wood right there. Should kind of let everything drain off nicely. Let's go ahead and probe it. Got 170 there. 160. Okay. It's pretty tender, but not perfectly tender. We're gonna have to take it up to about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. It's about 170, 180 right now, so I'm gonna guess probably another hour. 3 hours. Let's take a look. Looks pretty good. Still only 170, 180. Fat's getting nice and springy. Still not there yet. 4 hours, 15 minutes, and it's about 190, 195. I think this should be done. Let's take a look. Looking nice and smoky. Here's the important part. like butter. No resistance at all. This looks fantastic. Nice bark. Look how pillowy that fat is. Other than this section here where I had the probe and it's running out with the juices and washing away a little bit of that bark, this is really nice. I'm gonna pull the probe out. I should have had the probe in on the side the whole time, but now for the hard part. We're gonna let this rest for like 20 or 30 minutes, uncovered like this, till it comes down to more of a slicing temp. It has been almost 30 minutes, but I can't wait any longer. Let's cut into this. We'll go right down the middle first. Good God, that cut like butter. Let's see what we got. Ooh, she's pretty. Little smoke ring on the bottom there. Let's go ahead and give a nice little slice here in the middle. Oh man, that is just pretty. Pink, smoky looking, the fat rendered nicely. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that sweet rub. That is a good rub. Not too salty. I was worried about my salt level. Almost no heat. I don't know if I'd make any changes to that rub. That's really good. The cook went perfectly. Easy breezy, set this guy, set the vents, walked away. I was able to leave the house a couple times. I love that thing, man. So easy to maintain temps. This is a fantastic barbecue dish. This would go great with some barbecue sauce. It's like brisket, but better. As always, the link to the recipe on my website, dadgotthis.com, will be in the description, along with a couple other useful links, the Kamado Joe, a couple other things. If you click on them, some of them are affiliate links and they help me out. I appreciate it. If you're enjoying this content, please do the likey subscribe thing. YouTube loves it when you leave a like. I love it when you leave a comment. I answer just about every comment in my comment section. You really want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. Members get 24-hour early access to videos. They get behind the scenes updates, shout outs, producer credits, all kinds of fun stuff. But if you can't, please just subscribe. It would really help me out. With all that out of the way, I guess there's only one question left to ask. Why did the pig get detention? Because it didn't do its ham work. Yeah, pretty bad. Dad may tell horrible dad jokes, cook some fantastic pork belly on the Kamado Joe, but one thing Dad will never do is an outro. So that's it. Bye.
This is the part where I thank all of my members. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for your support, and rock on. I don't know why I said rock on, but rock on.
Right down the middle first. Let's see what we got. Ooh, she's pretty.